Welcome to the Founders Corner, brought to you by OneBridge Accounting. Here's your host, Eli Clark. Hey everyone, Eli Clark here, co-founder and CEO of OneBridge Accounting and host of the Founders Corner podcast. Today's guest is Meez Lockhart Jones, the founder of Stash House. Meez, very excited to have you. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, thank you for having me on there.
Yeah, of course. You want to jump in and just tell us a little bit about yourself and tell us about your business and what you guys do.
Yeah, so a little bit of background. I'm from the Bay Area originally. I go by Meez. So that's like my Instagram name. IMO Meez is my handle. We have a background of videos, photography. So we do a bunch of things, branding as well, brand storytelling, brand insights. Like we just dive into a bunch of like different avenues. It's all within like the creative aspect of everything. Yeah, long story short, I just came from like a small town and like I live close to a big city. So I kind of combined like my storytelling with that, like coming from a small town and having like a big town mentality. Like the Bay Area is like really known for brilliant people, and I really see that. So that's like one of my key things is that basically.
No, I love that. That's super cool, man. So from a small town, going to a big town, and just kind of having the adventure along the way, right? With the creative
Yeah,
space and
yeah,
everything.
yeah.
Walk me through some of your experience. Like I know you guys are doing some really cool stuff now. I've seen some of the stuff you've done with different brands, and I've seen some of the things that there's a lot going on that you guys are doing. But walk me through some of that experience. What's brought you to where you are today?
Yeah, it was all like trial and error, honestly. Like now I look back like today, like I didn't think photography was like or videos was gonna be like a huge like thing like it is now. Like content is like the word for it. Let's give it that keyword. But I didn't come from like a content background. I came from like a artistic and like discipline background because I worked with like A-level artists. I started off like in like the streets and working with smaller artists too though. And then eventually it just went to like bigger artists, and that type of discipline they had was totally different from what I was getting from like my everyday like in the street projects. So having that different like aspect or outlook actually is like it was crazy, honestly. Even for my growth now, I've been 13 years in, and it's just like I feel like I'm still able to begin tomorrow, like if I
Yeah,
wanted to. So it's a good, refreshing feeling.
that's pretty cool. Walk me
Yeah.
through a little bit. You mentioned like street artists. Like what medium was that? Like what would that look like from an artistic perspective? And then
Yeah.
you guys are
So
doing mostly video now, right?
yeah. Well, it's like a whole ecosystem. I would say like there's like a couple artists that started like the Instagram street photography, like renaissance, I would say. Like there's like older printed street photographers, but now like the social age is what it is. There's like key people that have like basically created that economy for it. So like in the street photography or street aspect of it, that's like literally where I came from. Like I grew up around like just in being around Oakland. It's like got a bunch of history, and we like love telling our history too, like from the Bay Area. It's very culturally rich and very well documented. So that's like one of the things I took to like as far as my documenting as in my adult life. Like I really just see like every day that I do something or produce something, it's like just what I do on my day to day. I don't really see it as like something grand or accomplishment, if that makes sense. It's like it's just something I'm just like already habit of doing, if that makes sense.
I think it makes sense. So
Yeah.
kind of starting out just as like an artistic expression, working
Yeah.
with different artists and stuff,
Yep.
and then
Yeah.
now you get paid to do it, right? At least on the videography side a little
Yeah,
bit.
yeah, yeah. And one of my mentors, like when we first started, it really stuck with me. It's like don't think about the money really. Like it's money is like a tool basically. You're just using that as a tool. So and I understood that too. It was more so like keeping the art aspect of everything, storytelling, just make it more depth. Like a lot of brands I see now, they could start and they could build for like a year and have all this fast assumptions or whatever, everything, fast money coming in and awareness and all this stuff, but it usually doesn't last. Like I just was with a brand that's 20 years old, about 20 years old, and started in 2007, and it's still lasting. And like the approach isn't like heavily marketed or anything. It's like as if type of style. So I really appreciate that as well. Like before I even did photography, I didn't have a face. Like to me, I just did my art, and that was like what stuck to people. It was more so that than me being a face of it.
Right, yeah. So people loved like the actual product that you were creating, the art, the what that meant, the authenticity behind that, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's super cool. So at what point did you transition from, okay, I'm doing art, it's an expression of
Mhm.
my creativity. At what point did you transition to kind of more into the marketing or videography or the business side of that? Yeah.
Yeah. So it really didn't. I don't know what time frame it really clicked, but like I knew that like me being somebody, like me seeing myself as a somebody, like a figure, and then just being in those spaces, I knew there's money being made around these spaces. Like it's like I'm around in the NBA or music or whether, and I just had to learn copywriting and licensing. That was like one of the most important things. Once somebody like brought that to my attention, I was like, oh dang, I didn't even know that was like a thing. Like I didn't know I could copyright or license an image for 5 years and get paid for that 5 years. So
Yeah.
that was the main thing. That was basically where the money started coming in. And I just, understood that part. It's like so many levels to it. You're just doing it as a hobby and for fun. And then something happens, like it ends up on TV or your image is licensed through some commercial or whatever. And you have to go searching for that money, honestly. It's just like sitting there basically. So I got put up on that game basically through a lawyer and then like working with other companies and agencies. And I just took that and I was like, okay, I need to make myself my own agency. Basically, that's what created Stash House. And I'm the artist basically. And I just created Stash House as the umbrella for it, me as being the artist.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
What were some of the challenges, I guess, going from maybe the more artistic side to then you're like, oh, I got to actually set up a business. I got to run that business. Were there
Yeah.
any challenges during that transition?
Well, honestly, the challenge now is like there's only a few companies that have, let's say, $10 million market budgets. So let's say like
Right.
top 5 companies have those type of budgets that are accessible that they could use for the whole year. It's very hard to get those type of jobs, I would say.
Right. Totally.
Even direct, like you're just working direct with Nike or direct with Canon, like or any of that. Like I was just seeing a debate today actually with some photographers, and it was like I never seen a Canon actually give like a camera to like influence or anything. That wouldn't sell them more cameras. Like essentially, like that, they're in the business of selling cameras. They're not in the business of selling influencers and all that stuff. So it's a whole category of that too. They're in the business of selling just the product, not the influencer. So, but influencer I feel like they're like the new celebrities now. So they
No,
feel like
totally.
they have
Yeah.
all this entitlement, but it doesn't really work like that. And so, that's what one of the obstacle challenges is like not being the influencer in those rooms, just being the business person and then, separating both of them and then taking that in the outside world and being the influencer. If I'm making any sense to separate it, that's how I see
I
it.
think so. Like you wear different hats, right? Like there's
Yeah.
certain times where you're like, okay, I got to be the business person, and there's other times where you're like, okay, I'm the influencer or I'm the creative, right?
Right.
And sometimes those are very different things, right? Like it's yeah, but often like what we do accounting, right, for
Yeah.
marketing firms, and often that's why we're so good at what we do is because we're not creatives. Like we focus on the numbers, and then the
Yeah, yeah.
creatives focus on the creatives, and sometimes that's a difficult hat to wear, both of those, right?
Yeah, no, for sure. It's interesting too, like especially working with like corporates and like corporations and stuff, brands. It's just like when you get to those bigger brands, they're like serious about everything they do and intentional.
Totally.
You got to be like just as serious and intentional. So I've always kept that like quality of work, like just getting turnaround times like within the same day, like things like that. Just little things that
Right.
they could take, like, oh wow, you just went above and beyond for a brand type thing. So
Really,
sure.
really high expectations, yeah,
Yeah,
especially,
well,
with those types of, companies that you're working with as clients, right?
I mean, yeah, individuals too. Is like I've been around, and it's not pressure just being around the individuals. It's like I see them as like a regular person, kind of like,
Right.
I can shoot a homeless person, I can shoot the president type of thing. Like I have very, very ranges of that. So yeah, just taking from that outlook as well as like
A good mentality. Yeah.
yes, I,
Yeah, just people, just a person. Yeah.
yeah, just person, yeah. So once you kind of like take those aspects and not starstruck all the time, then it's cool. You have like a chill level, like playing field.
Yeah, cool. Well, Meez, I wanted to ask you a little bit about video. I know that this is a medium or as a vehicle that you've spent a lot of time in. I mean, miniature photography is kind of where you started, and then
Mhm.
video is kind of a big part of what you do. You guys do a lot of other things too, but
Yeah, I
I
actually
wanted to,
started in video, so
oh, okay. Yeah,
yeah,
cool.
yeah.
So video, I wanted to ask you a couple questions related to video that I wanted to kind of pick your brain on. The first I want to, and just maybe to start off with a story, I'd love to hear from you. Like, what was one of your favorite video projects you've ever worked on? Like, what has stood out to you? I know there's probably quite a few. Feel free to
Yeah.
share one or two, but what's kind of stood out to you in a project you've done before?
I think still, like, my favorite project was 10 Days in Vienna with, Ryan Leslie, and this was, like, before his court case. He had, like, $1 million court case, like, it was, I don't wanna go too much into detail, but people go look it up, basically, and, the next day we flew to Vienna and we shot this, like, documentary of him doing his album, Black Mozart album, and it was amazing. It was a crazy time. Like, I only got, like, less than 2 hours of sleep each day, you know? Uh, and then we were editing too, so it was cool. It was like within that 10 days, we pretty much finished the documentary, and that's still one of my favorite pieces. You know, right now it's probably like almost at 1 million views on YouTube. You can look it up, and that was like the most disciplined I've been like with an artist or a mentor or somebody like at that level. So, definitely one of my favorite projects, just because of how like locked in mentally we were and focused, and like we had the team and everything was just like it was different. It was just a very organized situation at that time.
Yeah, that's cool. For those who are listening who want to check that out again, what was the name of that video on YouTube?
Black Mozart is by Ryan Leslie. So you can look it up on YouTube. It should pull up Ryan Leslie documentary Black Mozart. You pull it
Cool.
up.
Yeah. So for those who want to listen to that, go check that out.
Yeah.
Um,
It's really a dope visual. It's like I think it's like less than 15 minutes.
oh,
One of my favorite visuals to this day still, honestly. And I shot it with like a 5D and like like a cine lens maybe, but definitely one of my favorite projects.
I love that. Walk me through like what is the, let's say you're doing a photo shoot, whether or a video, let's say that's in Vienna or that's local in the Bay Area or wherever that is, right? What is your process for planning, shooting, and then producing that kind of a video?
Yeah, so usually I'm on contract or we're doing like a close knit production company that I work with. Usually it's all NDA, so I can't really say much, about some of the details of the project. But you know, like the bigger ones, I definitely have NDA, so I can't like say full details. But like my past ones, like Apple, I'll give like detail. This was an NDA situation, but it ended up being like on a billboard and commercial and stuff like that. So like those type of situations, it was like like somebody knew me, like, and they wanted to place me on that scale of what it was for. The campaign was for hometown, and I basically represented the hometown at this time. I was like, fairly just known, I'm just known in my town too. So, that was like one of those type of situations. It's really a relationship based situations that I get put in. So I
Right.
think that's super important is just having those type of resources of relationships.
Yeah, to make the connections for the actual photo shoots, right?
Yeah.
Or for the shots that you're doing.
Yeah,
Do
exactly.
you do you have a process that you follow when you're going out to do a video shoot, or
Not really. I mean,
you just make it up as you go? What does that look like?
these like if it's music videos, we'll go out for treatment. Like we started like the treatments and putting images and really fully detailed out.
Yeah.
And we started sending those to like labels and just other directors caught on. So everybody's doing it now. It's like just one of those things. But yeah, we do a whole process. I do a whole process with like a production team. Or if it's just me shooting it, then I have like a shot list in my head. But if like they need it for examples and stuff like that, I'll do like a storyboard and all that. So we do like a real process. We break down budgets. We do equipment, everything like full from start to finish, basically final product edits. You make sure everything's like pretty much all the way to full quality.
Yeah, so I wanna pick your brain on that a little bit. So, like, when before you're doing the actual shoot, you're either storyboarding or you're
Yep.
putting it out there and like, "Okay, these are the shots we want. This is what we're trying to share." Is that usually what it starts with? And then you're also kinda looking at budget at that time, or what else do you do during that kind of pre-planning phase?
Pre-film, it's a little bit of both. Like before, it was different. We would go after artists or artists that have like popular songs. So we just
Okay.
go and be like, we'll shoot your music video. Like at this time, it was like how I could explain it, it was like on a smaller scale. It wasn't like huge how like labels are putting. I mean, they were putting huge budget behind videos, but
Right.
right now, at the time I started, it was like kind of more so reinforced new. So Colin Tilley was like a big director from where I'm from, and did like he started off with this artist named Jay Stalin. He's from Oakland. He's like a local artist, and then worked his way all the way up to Chris Brown doing these videos. And we kind of had the same formula. We worked with like local artists, a bunch of local artists that just had hot songs. And World Star was like a big thing then. So that this platform, if we got a music video on that platform, it got like over 1 million views. That was like a good sign. So
Totally.
it's like that snowball effect, and then just gradually going into bigger clients and things like that, working with labels and brands. So it's like a whole process, honestly. It took years. Like it didn't take like overnight. Like it literally took. I still feel like I'm working at hard at still like trying to figure it out. So
Yeah, I don't think you ever quite figure it out. It's just
yeah, you never,
right.
you never. And before, like the budgets were way bigger. Now we're like even shrunk even more, smaller budgets, smaller teams. The cameras got top technology's gone smaller, so it's one of those. But now everybody's like trying to cater to AI. That's going to be
Totally. That's the new thing. Yeah.
a new thing. So, but for me, it's like always going to be hands on. Like you're always going to want that real feeling from something. So
Yeah,
I think
totally.
in 5 years, people are going to pay for like real experiences.
Yeah, yeah. Hopefully, right? Yeah, I mean, I think the authenticity is really important. And I think video really captures that authenticity because I mean, AI, for example, isn't quite at the level yet where
Yeah.
it can take over those shots or
Yeah.
take over video, but maybe someday in the future. But I think the authenticity there is key, right?
Yeah.
When you're
Yeah.
connecting with an audience and stuff.
Yeah.
Um, I had a couple follow-up question. Kind of as marketing budgets are getting smaller and people don't have money for photo shoots
Yep.
and things like that. Do you have any tips for listeners who are trying to do videography for clients, but the clients just have a really small budget? Any tips on how to, I guess, do projects on budget or anything that kind of comes to mind for you when it comes to that
Honestly,
side of
like,
things?
yeah, well, I started from like a free aspect, not free. Like I would just do work. I'm just a productive person though. So like it just
All
naturally
right.
came to me. I just wanted to get work done. But if I was like coming up right now in this time too, in this economy or whatever, I would just basically hunker down and just try and get as many clients, like consistent clients.
Just do work. Uh-huh.
Yeah, you just want to offer them something like, I can help you with this. Everybody's looking for a solution basically. So that's one thing I'll go into is look for is like the solution for a business or a client.
Yeah, so go back to the challenge still, right? Like, what is the challenge they're struggling with, and then present what you're doing on the video side as the
Exactly.
solution.
And then you just want to grow with clients, honestly. So it's like a partnership. I always try and find like long-term partnerships too with brands. So that's super important. Um,
Yeah,
hey,
long
you do
term.
the same thing in, yeah, you do the same thing in with the regular freelance and day-to-day stuff. That's what I do, or I just try and fill my time just doing more artwork pieces and the stuff that I want to print, or a project
Other
or
things you can do, yeah.
yeah, I want to get out and yeah, things
Very
like
cool. Love that, love that. What do you think the future of videography is gonna look like as far as AI goes? Like, do you think it's gonna play a component on editing or play a component in production? Like, what do you
that.
think it's going?
I feel like it could be like helpful. I'm not like super against it, honestly. It might take a while for it to be like a full production, like, oh, it just did a whole crazy movie and it was AI and you
Right.
know, nobody really knew type thing. And they had just one credit like AI, like I think it's gonna take a long time for all that. But like as far as like, the transformer type films, like you want to shoot still with live uh live landscapes, but you want to put the animatronics in there. I think that's normal. That's cool. But it's kind of like a dumbed down thing. It's like how smart are humans versus
Right.
AI. That's what I'm at with this. Like, dang, you got went to college, you got all these degrees, but how smart are you? You got to use AI. So
Yeah, that's a good point.
yeah,
Yeah, it's
yeah,
interesting. Yeah.
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 And like, I'm super into books and stuff, so I don't think that's dead. Printing, all the old fashioned stuff's to me is never gonna like pass on. That's like gonna be more valuable and timeless. So
Yeah.
I
Yeah, I
feel like
think yeah, from what I've seen people do like successfully with AI is like using it as a tool, whether that's to help them create an outline or help them like I've seen brands do this with storyboarding, like they'll do an image generation with storyboarding
yeah,
and
yeah,
that makes that aspect of it easier, but they're
yeah,
still doing all the shooting um in in person, right? That's actually going on. It's not AI, right? It's
yeah,
the and all the same thing with like if you're using Premiere Pro or other tools like that for the editing, there's some AI aspects there that can be really helpful, but
oh yeah.
it still involves humans, right?
Yeah, not for sure. It's one of those things. It's just like it's one of those things how like they're thinking art is gonna die or something like that. I mean, it has kind of like gotten less tasteful, but I think it's one of those revolutional things. It's like every 10 years it has to kind of refresh. So I feel
Yeah,
like
yeah, it's like vinyls came back and then now VHSs are coming back, I heard. So yeah, it's like goes back as cyclical, right? If you would.
yeah, it was so funny. My brother, he collects Pokemon cards. So I walked outside and I showed him Beanie Babies. I'm like, nah, bro, watch next 5 years, stuff like that. It just still gets
They're gonna be back, man. They're gonna be back in
yeah,
style. Yeah. That Charizard you held on to for 20
yeah,
years, right?
yeah,
It's gonna pay
exactly.
you
All that
back.
stuff, yeah. But
I love that.
yeah. So I'm still a '90s nostalgic kid. So like I love all that stuff still. Still,
No, that's great. Love that. No, I love that. That's awesome.
yeah,
When you're looking at a video and then you've produced it and then you've published it, what do you think are the most important metrics for a marketer or for somebody who's putting out videos to look at? Like, do you think views are the most important? Engagement's the most important? What do you look at like when you once you publish something?
yeah. Lately, I've been honestly thinking about this. Is like because usually like in our creative world, we're so done with editing a music video, hearing the song so many times, we just post it and just don't even think about it
You're
anymore.
done.
But
Yeah. Uh-huh.
yeah, yeah, like that's just the creative side. But like on the business side, I think what we're missing is the authentic and original side of everything. Is like um you see a lot of streamers coming out now and they don't have really like an ethos behind them. Like we don't know their story, like
Right.
how they came up basically. And that was like a big thing I feel like in past years, like how somebody came up and like how you knew their story. That was like one of the things that made you more entertained by this person or like attached to them. So
Totally.
yeah, I think it's one of those type of things. It's like how is this person like kind of influencing like in a real aspect or how they're doing it. I feel like there's so much people are like so celebrity and I'm this, I'm that. So it's hard to say, but to separate it like on an undertone is just like what's the real story behind like a person or a brand or a business. So that's like where I see it basically.
Yeah. So it's I guess if I'm understanding, you're saying like it's less about the views and
Yeah.
I guess those numbers, and it's more about like how are you engaging with the audience as a
Yeah.
creator, right? Or how is that video engaging with people?
Yeah, exactly. Like it's cool. Like I see everything. Like I see all the reviews that people do on like cameras and the streaming's heavy. There's a bunch of stuff. There's just a bunch of stuff. It's just like I always got it from my mentor like on YouTube videos. If people can't walk away with 5 points from that video, then like it's useless basically. Like
Right.
it's just time wasted. And I feel that too. It's like I always try and look for knowledge out of like a piece of something like a video or even a photo. Like photos say 1,000 things, and that's true. So it's one of those things. It's just like a taste level too. It's like my taste level is super up there. I just am super into a lot of stuff. So yeah. So that's another part of it too. Just having a taste level for stuff and quality. Yeah. It's like it all mixes in one.
Yeah, I feel you. I feel you. What do you think are then some of the most common mistakes that people make when it comes to creating videos?
Common mistakes. I would say like a repetitive like style of video. Like
Mm,
I don't know. It's just like you got food reviewers, you got clothes reviewers, or like over. That's like a
it's all the
form
same stuff.
already. Yeah, it's already like I feel like I would stay away from. I do stay away from all that. Like I never wanted to be like a YouTuber or content creator like that. So Yeah, it's always just keeping that artist mysterious aspect. I think that's always like gonna be a universal thing for people instead of like, oh, you just do the same thing I did. You just woke up and just put clothes on like I did. That's not really like, I don't know. It's maybe I'm looking into it's too deep, but as far as a content creator, that's what like it's turned into, instead
That
of
makes sense. Yeah, like how many food videos do you see or how many fitness videos do you see? Like so many, right?
so
And maybe thinking outside of that a little bit and like, okay, how can I do something a little bit different, right?
yeah,
Something a little bit more unique, a little bit stands out, right? And not just the
yeah.
same thing over and over and over again. Right.
Yeah, and I feel like we're in a, it's cool though. It's like we're in a copy paste society right now. It's like, they see something that goes viral. Of course, everybody wants to try it. That's cool. But yeah, I'm more into like behind the scenes of like Scorsese movies. Like I like seeing videos like that on YouTube. Like I'll go look at like
Yeah,
something like
interesting stuff like that. Yeah.
yeah, like man, how did they shoot The Hateful Eight or like one of those cool movies. Like any type of movie, any genre. Like I just like great film making too. It's like one of those things you dive into if you like actually do it. So I think films are like not as good as they were back in like 10 years ago. So just 10 years ago too. So yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it's kind of changed a little bit, right? The
Yeah.
style or well, the storytelling.
I'm telling you, yeah, all of it's very different now. So it seems like there's a story, but no story that's really being told.
I
Some
got you.
movies,
Yeah.
it's
So having that story is just a key part, right, of any sort of video that you're doing is making sure that the story is authentic, it's unique, it's different, and it's compelling, right?
yeah, yeah, exactly. It has like
Love
levels to it, some structure, but I don't know. I'm really just going with the wind too because I'm stepping back into freelancing. So I'm just trying to figure out what's the target like things that are gonna make people think in the next 5 years, basically.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah, it makes sense. Well, me, this has been a really fun discussion. I think it's been cool to kind of pick your brain a little bit and kind of
Sure.
see what you've got going on as a creative individual and
Thank
kind
you.
of what's going on there. What do you think the marketing space is going to look like in the next year or two? What do you think is going to change? What should people watch out for?
Well, hopefully, I'm hoping authenticity comes back in some sort. Like people are gonna just realize, like like me doing what I do on a regular is cool. Like like that's fine. People being themselves. Honestly,
Yeah,
it's just one of those type of like kind of look at yourself in the mirror situations. Like just be who you are. It's not like a forceful thing. I think everybody's kind of stuck on what they see on social media, and they have to be that in society. It's like, nah, you just be a simple good person, and that's all you need to be. And I just keep try to keep it as simple as that. Honestly, like even with today's time, today's news, it's just like just be a decent, good person, be good to other people. Then just keep it as simple as that.
you guys heard it here first, right? Like, I mean,
Yeah.
be you, be authentic, right? And that's the most important thing.
Yeah, be you.
Love
Yeah,
that.
yeah. I think people are always so concerned about what others think. It's like, nah, you just gotta just really be yourself.
Just be yourself. Totally, I
Yeah.
love that.
Yeah.
Meez, if people want to get a hold of you, if they want to contact you, where can they find you?
My website is I am Omeez, IAMOMEEZ. And then the same thing with my Instagram. It's all the same handles. I am Omeez on Instagram. LinkedIn is Meez Lockhart Jones. So I'm pretty big on LinkedIn. A lot of people will be tapping in with me on there. So that's a good platform. And then email is meezisnotdead@gmail.com. You can email me all the time.
Awesome. Meez, it's been great having you on the show. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Yeah, of course.
Thank you for joining us in this episode of The Founders Corner, the podcast series for marketing firms and agencies looking to learn and level up their business. You can check out more podcasts and other content from OneBridge Accounting by following the links in the show notes. At OneBridge Accounting, we're all about helping marketing and creative firms organize their finances, maximize their profits, save cash, and automate their accounting and finance functions. Check out our other resources and subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts.